with what version you have. And if you have Windows and you want to go ahead and go to it, this screen should be fairly familiar to most of you. It includes all 3 of your saves plus the Heartlands at the very bottom down there. Several of these screens are going to look fairly familiar. There's not a lot that's changed on the foreground of these. It's going to be when we get into a little deeper. And there's also going to be an advanced mode on some of these too. So you want to go ahead and you're going to select the save that you want to go ahead and mod. And it's going to bring you up to the community tab here to start off with. And this main screen right here is going to show you the basics. You're going to have this area down here to where you can actually change the name of your community if you so wish. And below it, of course, you have all the resources that we're familiar with. And you can edit those all the way up to 9999 if you so wish. Just be prepared for a little complaining if you do so. And that's going to be for materials, food, gas, health, ammo, and of course, influence. Over here we have the complete all bounties tab if that's something you have not yet done. Of course you have the legacy unlock over here for the boons, then unlock all outfits, and this does not include the ones that are through the bounty zone. Unlock all daybreak items, it's going to be right here in case you don't feel like grinding those hours and hours out of it, and prestige is down at the bottom lower side. Then we're going to have unlock all radio calls. That's pretty self-explanatory. That will give you a bunch of hidden stuff too. Unlock all radio cooldowns. This is not permanent. You will have to come back here if you use a bunch of stuff and it has a bunch of timers on it again. The bloater mode is if you actually want to harvest the glands from the bloaters. And unlock all map icons will do just that. That way you don't have to spend time mapping out the entire area. Daytime counter over here, and this actually does go by a 24-hour clock. Nightmare Day survived, in case you're shooting for that 100-day mark still and you haven't yet completed that achievement. Gravestone markers if you want to change that. And of course, days survived. Now we'll go ahead and move over to the Survivors tab, and this of course will not only include your personal community, but as well as any of the enclaves you have currently on your map at that time, including all of their people. So we can come over here and you'll notice all of your survivors as well as anybody that's deceased or that has been exiled by you in the past. Now we can go to select one like Ursa over here and you can go ahead and change the name, the last name, the nickname. This one here you usually don't have to change, but you can if you want. The model is of course the character model, and then of course you can hide the default hat if they come with one. You can change the hat, the outfit, the voice of the character, the standing, which of course is going to be leader all the way down to a basic recruit, the hero bonus, the leader type, philosophy 1 and 2. You can actually change the skills as well as the stamina, health, fatigue, infection, zombies killed, and trauma. Now keep in mind that if you want to increase your character's health or stamina, you can't just change the number here. That will not do anything in game. It'll just reset once you go in. You actually have to add traits or skills that will allow you to boost that. So we do have plenty of information on the Discord if you want to look it up on stats that you can actually add by adding traits and such. But I will probably get into doing another video on that later on. I hadn't done one up to this point just because I knew the new editor was coming out and I really didn't want to touch base on that until it was already done. Don't forget to also decrease infection and trauma as well as fatigue if you bring a survivor back from the dead. Otherwise, the moment they come back, whatever killed them is going to kill them again. On the left hand side, of course, you have what your character's traits currently are, and on the right hand side, the ones you can add to it. You can take away with the button there or there, add to it. You can also actually export your current survivor's traits if you wish to save them and add them to another character. And the string tabs will actually show you a little bit more in-depth detail on what each trait actually is as far as how it is assigned in the code. Do not mess with anything that is labeled as a descriptor trait. Those actually give your character persona and attitude and what their actual missions will be. If you delete those, you will have an empty character that does nothing. Moving on. Now, of course, this is going to be the inventory tab, and of course, you have melee weapons here. And just please note that the durability on these does not change with this number right here. This will not affect it at all in game. You will have to have a file mod using a cooked folder if you're going to change the durability on these. Other than that, we can move on from here. We can go to here. This is miscellaneous. This will give you everything from prefab quarters to, of course, vehicle upgrade kits, plague samples, just random stuff that's in your locker. Then we can go down to ranged weapons, and of course, it's just like the other community editor. Max durability on this is 1E9, just as it states right here. That actually equals 1 billion when it comes down to the code on it. It's an equation that we use, and you can see on the left-hand side over there, everything that is attached to the weapon. And as you can see, the amount over here, that actually is going to say that you can add stuff right here. It'll show you what it is that's available. And you can add deletes or whatever you may wish to do. If you choose to actually start stacking multiple mags and such, you just want to come here, and if you want to add 9 of them, you just put 9 and click add, and bam, there you go. And that is actually how we end up getting 999 ammo on weapons and stuff like that. We do have a list posted over in the Discord if you so wish to take a look at it. It's easy to explain. There's not much to it. And of course you have red sacks. Come over here, check it out. You can duplicate, delete, whatever you want to do, change them to something else. You can actually even export or import item lists if you so wish to pass that to another community, or if you just want to have it handy in case something ever happens. And of course full-on facility mods like the signal antenna, the cleaning station. So over here we're going to have facilities tab. Now as you can see, like the cheat building is right here, and I have made videos before on how to get the cheat building. All you're going to do basically is you're going to select any of your facilities, and you will actually just change that to a cheat facility. That will get you the original cheat facility. If you want 2.0 or 3.0, you will have to go ahead and get a file download to go with that to change the aesthetics of it and what the buttons are actually doing. But it will also have condition here, slot passives, to if you want to give it a bonus that it's actually giving your community. This shows everything that you currently have built also, not stuff that you do not have on there yet. This shows the map, of course, and the vehicles that are on it. You can select any of them, and it will actually show you the fuel percentage, where that vehicle is located at on the map over here. And you can click through and see what else there is. And of course, you actually can heal the vehicle, as well as change the fuel to back to 100% if you want, just to make sure you don't get there and it has nothing in it. Then we're going to come over to the Enclaves tab. And as you can see, this is not currently functioning, but it will be soon, okay, I promise. Now last we have the map over here, and on the map, of course, you can choose what you want to show on here, whether it be cars, hearts, infestations, dropped items, dead survivors, enclaves, or secret cases, in case you have not collected all of them yet. I think secret cases does not function on the new map yet. We just have not had a chance to fill that in, but everything else will be functioning on this map, so you shouldn't have a problem with it at all. As you see, you can select or deselect items and they will disappear off the map to clear out if you so wish. You can also come up here and change the map size itself, or the icon size to your liking. But that is basically it. I mean, like I said, the editor was made to be very point and click. It is made to be easy for you to use. Don't forget, like I said, this is a new version. This is built completely from the ground up. Helos has invested a ton of time into this, and he's done it so that it will be as easy as possible for you. And remember, we always suggest that you do a few small changes and save. Check the game, make sure everything transferred okay, and then move on from there. You can restore backup at the top right here. If you have any issues with the mod that you do, you click the restore backup. It will actually bring down a menu showing you your previous saves. Every single time you save on this game, it will actually save a backup automatically for you. So you do not have to worry about where do you get one or anything like that. You're never going to break your game with the community editor. All we're doing is modding the save. Always remember that. Now, of course, we do have an advanced section up here. Please, please, please do not mess with the advanced section unless you know what you are doing. At least, by bare minimum, know how to load a backup, know just the basic fundamentals of modding. There's an asset editor that Helos also has in the modding discussion channel, I believe, is where it's actually located. But if you want to download that, it makes hex editing extremely understandable even to the layman. So if you're somebody that has never modded something a day in your life, get with somebody who can just teach you the basics. You don't need to know everything if you're just looking to, say, change the durability of a gun and the distance the bullet goes, just bullet drop, durability loss per shot. All that stuff can be done with the asset editor. And as far as stuff that affects your overall community,
No.
that advanced tab is what's going to help you here. But you do need to know the basics of it first. If you go messing with something on there, after we have already explained to you that it is only for advanced users, and you come to us and say, well, I changed a bunch of stuff here, the only advice we're going to give you is please load it back up. So please just be cautious with it. I mean, if you know what you're doing and you're